No Ideas Original podcast featuring Shannon, the good brother, Mr. Rob. And today we're joined by Ali Vegas. What's up, Ali? How you doing?
Peace. How's everything, man?
Straight out of Queens, MC, ghostwriter, entrepreneur. Yeah, how you been making out with everything with COVID?
Oh, I mean, I've been good. I can't complain at all, you know. Still moving around, still being able to get things done, you know. So I said just staying safe, you know what I mean? Playing it safe, playing it close.
Making a way. So yo, I wanted to start out by just asking you right off the rip, like, talk about what inspired you to start writing and what your writing process is like. And when I say writing, I mean not only rap, because I know, you know, you're creative. So what's your writing process like?
Well, it's like it's crazy because that's what, I got a book called The Writer, you know what I'm saying, that we just finished up. So in it, I talk about the different processes of writing, of where silent writing, and that's basically when silent writing is when you basically drawing pictures, but it's silent writing, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people, art is art. So a lot of us that write, what we do is, you know, you doodle and you know what I mean, you make little pictures, but silent writing is where you don't even understand yourself that you're putting a story together. So you might draw a smiley face in one corner, then draw a frown face with a gold chain and a full body in another corner, and then that's how you put a story together, where it's you writing about you not even knowing that you're writing about different things, because you got in one corner, you got the guy posted up on the corner, then you got a smiley face, so you separating the different times subconsciously. So that's why I call it silent writing. So that way in the book I try to help people identify which part of the writing they doing. And then after that it's competitive writing. So what competitive writing is, where say if I hear a Biggie song or a Jay or Nas song, I'll write a verse to that song as if I'm rhyming either behind them or rhyming before them to set them up. So that's why when I collaborate with people, the song sounds good, because it's easy to know how to set them up if they rhyming behind me or rhyming before them. That's competitive writing. That's one part of competitive writing. The other part of competitive writing is if we a crew and I write something. So say I say hoodies. Say I could say I love wearing hoodies. I love wearing hoodies because that symbolizes the best era. You could take that line. So if you're around me, or say if I'm around somebody and they write that, now I'm writing something to combat that. So I would say I will start with saying they say wearing hoodies symbolizes the best weather, and then I'd be like, nah, but for me it's, you know what I mean, for me it's ski mask and vest weather. So that's the competitive writing of that. So that's what that's my writing process. It depends on which way I'm going. So sometimes it's silent writing, sometimes it's, you know what I mean, competitive writing, you know what I mean? And I use all those methods even when I'm ghostwriting for the other person.
Nice.
So you're sound and balanced, dude. I'm getting this very sound and balanced, thoughtful guy, and you're super creative. And I like the acronym of your name. Could you explain the acronym of your name, and also how important is imagination?
The acronym is Alive, Intelligent, Very Exclusive, Gifted, Artistic Scholar. You know what I'm saying? And imagination is, you need that. Sometimes it's crazy because I could always tell a person when a person writes, I could always tell when they not traveling, because the people that tell the illest stories, like that's why Look Big was one of the illest storytellers.
Right.
Slick Rick, Esco.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And the best story.
They take you somewhere when you go.
Yeah, because, and remember, Esco best stories, even One Love was dope, but his best stories came it was written.
It was written.
And past that, so that, you know what that was the reason for that. And I had him bugging because he was like, how you know? Because I told him, because that's when he started traveling. Because once you start traveling, you have to imagine what's going on in the hood. You know what I mean? It's hard when you in the hood, you writing it for you. So that's why everything is firsthand. But when you're away from when you in Miami or when you're across seas, you gotta just imagine. So when you writing it down, now everything is vivid because now you gotta imagine somebody. Yeah, you gotta put them in place. So that takes your imagination. So that's why I say imagination is very important, especially once you start traveling, because you have to imagine what's going on back home to keep in tune. And then that's how people, that's why those caliber artists become the illest storytellers, because they were doing the most traveling. Like, Big, he was successful, so he was doing a lot of traveling.
Mm-hmm.
Rick, you know what I mean? So that's why imagination is very, very key to an artist. So.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think for me, I noticed like a difference in Nas as a rapper on that second album with the storytelling, because a lot of those tracks, it was him doing, telling stories. Let me ask you this: when you originally signed, because I think your first deal was through Columbia, did you sign directly to Columbia or did you sign to Trackmasters?
I was signed to Trackmasters. So what it was Urban Wolves, Trackmasters, Columbia. And Trackmasters, Columbia wanted me straight up, but my lawyer, who's one of the greats, he always informed me, he said, no, keep that structure, because if anything go wrong on either party, we get to move on. You know what I mean? That's why like a lot of artists when stuff like that happen, the label own their name, the label own all their music. Like, so my thing is, no matter what Columbia did, Trackmasters did, I only had to do business with Urban Wolves for anything of mine. Urban Wolves had to take care of the business with Trackmasters and Columbia. So that's why my lawyer advised me to keep it that way. So when Trackmasters got dropped from Columbia, it was either I could stay with them because they would welcome me as son, or I could just, keep it moving.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Because you had a buzz, were you able to, use that leverage to get a better deal, or they hit you with the standard deal to start with?
No, I had the best. The only person that was more paid than me was Destiny Child. Everybody else was making less than me on the label.
Nice.
I had the best deal because what made it ill with me is like I had the best deal a young artist ever had, and still to this day, because what made it good for me is the same reason why, like a Zion or somebody or LeBron to get 90 million before stepping on the court is because the people who doing the business with them seen it before. Mm-hmm. So like for me, it was like they already seen what the people that they comparing me to did. So they're like, oh, we got this kid now at a younger age than they were, and we could do more. So they was just like, no, here, give him whatever he wants. So it was that.
That's crazy, man. And I hear you talked about revering an OG, a gentleman by the name of Mr. Butch. Talk about Mr. Butch and what valuable lessons you learned from the OGs around you.
Oh, I mean, Mr. Butch was the main one, you know what I mean? Because, like I said, he was Malcolm X's bodyguard. So he showed me, he was like, I'm seeing unauthorized documentaries, like I'm growing up in a neighborhood where I would have never thought Malcolm X stood on the corner where I grew up. I would have never thought that, because like, you know what I mean? Like it was like the Poppy and them owned the store, you know what I mean? So I would have never thought that. And he's showing me like documentaries at 6 years old where Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X are standing on the corner of my block, and it's like, so that right there let me know that I'm coming from a neighborhood of prominence, you know what I'm saying? And so that was like just the life lessons. He taught me so many like life lessons at the age of 6, man lessons, you know what I mean? And he just always showed me, the power of Muslim oil, the power of like the oil, he's like, when you shake somebody's hand with that oil, you with them for the rest of the day. You know what I mean? If somebody got that oil on and they shake your hand, that you got that with you until you shower.
It's anointing. It's the anointing.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so he like, yo, just like the same way the scent is on him, like you should always be able to touch a person. You should always be able to touch a person the same way, to where whatever you say or you do for that person or with that person should stick with them for a long time. So that's what he always taught me.
Right. And it appears, man, and throughout your career, you've been through so much, and you had to hold yourself down and stay grounded. What? Talk about mental health. How important is mental health?
Oh man, mental health is one of the mental health and patience is the key. Because what it is so many people go through identity crisis. It's hard for them to separate. It's hard for them to separate their AKA from their government. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for them to turn that off. Like, so one thing I've always done is, like, it's so crazy with my cousins and my brother, they didn't even know the reach of the reach and expand of my power until like later on, because I never was that to them. Like,
Right.
the artist would turn off as soon as you walk into the house. Like, nah, look, I'm your brother. So that way it was like, it was easy for me. It was easy for me to stay grounded because I built that support system. Like, I'm the one that everybody called. The most powerful people in the world call me. Like, my phone is, I'm up all night, every night, because the most powerful people reach out to me to talk them off the ledge every time. Mm-hmm. And it was like, you know what? So sometimes it's hard for a rock, you know what I mean, to have another rock. But see, me, I learned that. So I learned that the downfall of rocks is that they the rock. So they just listen and absorb, but they don't never let out. So what happened with me is I built rocks around me. I built other rocks around me, you know, so that way my support system is grand, you know what I mean? My support system is grand. So anytime I'm out of touch, I have rocks in place to tell me like, nah, you're going too far. Reel it back in.
Yeah, that's dope. It's dope you say that, because I think that you see that a lot in the industry. Like, there are a lot of people that they feel like the people that's around them have their best interests at heart, but the people that's around them won't tell them the truth. So how do you get to a point where people feel comfortable enough in interacting with you, especially if they know, you know, you're the one that we're relying on to get the bag, that they feel comfortable enough to actually be open and honest with you?
But that come from you. That come from you establishing that base. You know what I mean? You establishing that base from the get-go of letting them know, like, listen, only way we gonna go further, the only way we gonna get far is if we correct mistakes. You know what I'm saying? And stay there, because it's not all about just getting there. It's about staying there once you get there. You know, and it's like, so the only way we gonna get that is if you tell me, like, yo, listen, nah, you bugging out. You know what I mean? And it's the same for, like, and they will pick that up when you tell them that. You know what I mean? When you tell them the same thing, it's like, you got to tell them, like, nah, you bugging. You gotta go do this. You know what I mean? And that's why I always tell people that, like, it don't make sense to bite your tongue or hold back. You know what I mean? Especially when you plan on having those people around you. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why my circle remain the same. You know what I mean? I keep the same voices around me to where it's like, nope, keep going. You do this, like, you know, like, that's why it's like, it's good to have that, especially family, because family don't hold no punches. You know what I'm saying? Like, they gonna be like, you gonna have to give me part of the bag anyway. Whether I say it or not.
You real, real talk, man. Fuck that rap shit, nigga. Go clean your room.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's like normal stuff to where like nigga, I don't care what you sold, nigga. Like, oh yeah, that's like where you bring in another artist through to be like, yo, yeah, they be like, all right, go get a burger. The burger's right over there. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no service over here.
Right.
And that's what it's about. You know what I mean? But so many people, so many artists, they get out of touch with their family. So it's like they can't even, you know what I mean? It's hard for them to even go back to their family because they get so used to their friends being pleasant with them. You know what I mean? So that's why I advise any artist, new artist, always stay in tune with your family. Always stay in touch with your family. You know, and it's like that's the illest part.
That ego, man. And sometimes it's that ego.
Hurt people, man. And I was talking to somebody the other day about you got to separate your ego and reintroduce yourself back to yourself.
You got to.
Yeah, you got to, man. If not, you're gonna be like the hamster on the wheel, always chasing, like the donkey chasing the carrot.
Listen, man. That's why when I lived in LA for like 6 years, and I was just like, man, like they kill for that fame, like where it's like. That's why I always tell people that's close to me or far from me, I say, yo, it's okay to die out of the movie, man. Sometimes you gotta die out of the movie. A lot of people don't be wanting to die out of the movie, and like they'll stay in one spot and then drama start happening. I'm like, yo, just die out of the movie, man. Like if somebody say something bad, just be like, yo, all right, and just like we always want to be the star of the movie. Like what? I can't. What they talking about me around here? Like why you want to show up? Why you want to be like? I always tell people like, I'm not gonna sit down with you if your first instinct is you can't wait for me to leave just so you can talk bad about me again. Like, nah, it's cool. I ain't gotta be around here. I got things to do.
Yeah.
I'm like I'm coming around here to shed light on with y'all, to share stuff with y'all. Like, so like my partners, like people, they always had that. They be like, yo, what I'm supposed to do? I'm like, just die out of the movie, man. Like, it's okay, man. Like,
I'll hang on.
Yeah, that's even more challenging though. Sometimes that's a little bit more challenging for us. Like if you have some type of level of success and you leave the hood, there's this expectation that you're supposed to come back to the hood and you're supposed to be supportive and you're supposed to give back. But then the flip side of it is that people come back to the hood, and a lot of the people that you see coming back to the hood, there's people in the hood that hate on their success and they're envious, and it puts them in like a difficult position. Like, do you still have the ability to go back and hang out with the people that you grew up with?
I've always had that foundation. Well, first of all, I come from a big family, and I'm like my cousins and brothers, they're in the streets. Mm-hmm. So it's like I could always go anywhere I want. You know what I'm saying? Like outside of that, like when I did it, like I said, I did an interview before, and the interview, the lady, she couldn't even believe that my family was my family, because she just interviewed my cousin for something else before then, and she couldn't even. She was like, "You're related to them?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know." Yeah, I'm like, "Those are I know they animals. I know." Like I know. I'm like, nah, I'm different. I'm the reason why the older ladies don't clutch their purse. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, I go around because my mother always taught me. My mother always said, listen, she like, look, you water and you grow, you water and feed and grow new plants. You know what I'm saying? She like, look, old trees, they fall on your house and damage your roof. So if they old and stubborn, and they stuck in their ways, then no, you concentrate on those flowers that you gotta bloom. Mm-hmm. So whenever I go back, I've always, you know what I mean, tournaments for the kids, ices, all that stuff, kids, school books and everything. Because if I do that, what the parents gonna say? If I'm holding your kids down, what your parents gonna say? And I always tell that, and Mr. Butcher always told me, he said, listen, he said, get your money and invest in your neighborhood. Because he said, look, can't nobody kick you out. He said, how somebody going to tell you can't come back to a neighborhood that you own? Mm-hmm. So if I own the houses that they live in, who going to push me out? Who going to tell me I can't? Who going to tell me you can't come back to the neighborhood? You know what I mean? But that's what we do. Some of us get it and move and invest in our new neighborhood instead of putting back in our old neighborhood. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. It's like we because that's what I try to tell people. We build our own communities up, and and that's why it take more leaders to say. So say if somebody telling you, nah, you can't come back to the neighborhood should say, you know what? No, we pushing you out. Like he prominent, he trying to do something good here. You know what? You him, he can't. No, we gonna push you out of here. Yeah. And that's what we don't do as people. We don't do that. We don't push the bad apple out. We let the bad apple tell us, dictate who could come in and who cannot. You know what I mean? So.
That's right. Yeah, actually, are you an avid reader?
Yeah, I mean, I read a lot. I read mostly. Look, I always keep dictionaries with me. I always read dictionaries every day.
What's the last?
From 8 to.
What's the last 3 books you read that you can recommend to us?
The last 3 books, man, The Grit. I read The Grit. That's just about like just the grind of success and the stuff that it takes. You know what I mean? It's like a old Army veteran that was just like, that was at West Point, and he just letting you know, like, and it changed his train of thought, of thinking, of where everything went from lackadaisical thinking to routine. You know what I'm saying? Like, up in the morning, get it in. Then I got I got this Black Success book. You know what I mean? Where it's an old book. It just tells you. It's ill because it's old, but it shows you what's happening now. You know what I mean? It's good to help people. It's a good read because it helps people on knowing like the difference between Black success and other racial success. You know what I mean? Like, our success is different. You know what I mean? It talks about how we want, like, how when we want the world to know we got. You know what I'm saying? And
flamboyance, right?
That's one of our downfalls, is because we should be, you know what I mean? Like, I always tell people, silent leadership. You know what I mean? That's the one thing we should focus on, is silent leadership, because like that's how the Russian mob thrives, silent leadership.
It was a Bronx that said that too, right? Real bad boys what?
Moving silence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's what I said, like, but that's silent leadership, because it's like, that way, our opposition can't chop our leader down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If they didn't know Malcolm was the leader, they can't chop him down. You know what I mean? Because they notice our prominence before we do, and that's that's the thing where it teaches us, where it's like, we know who the leader is. We identify who we following, who we learning from, but we can't let them know who we following and who we learning from. We just got to take in the lessons and act like business as usual. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's in the dictionary. That's the last 3. I always read, because it's like,
you gotta know how the words work.
Yeah, you gotta read. You know what I mean? You gotta reacclimate the words into your system and keep them, you know what I mean, there. So that way I always tell people, like in my book, I tell them, if you read the dictionary, the more words you could grab to, the less curse words you don't have to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
You said the second book was Black Success?
Yeah, Black Success. It's called Black Success. You know what I mean?
So when you was working on your first album, Trackmasters they were on fire that time. They had 50 around them. They had the Firm around them. They
had everybody.
Yeah. What was it like working on that first album?
I mean, it was perfect. You know what I mean? Because it was, it's crazy. It was a gift and a curse, because when you coming from the same stomping grounds as everybody, like I knew Nature and Foxy and A. I knew them before music. You know what I'm saying? Like, A and them coming to joint in the SL, pick me up. You know what I'm saying? Cheeks, and like, I was around them young already, because they would come to the hood, you know what I mean, rock out. But when you get in there, and it's crazy, because what made it ill was everybody. If you listen to like the Generation Gap joints, everybody who featured on it was giving me their best shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was like, and that's what I was loving, because I was like, you know what I mean? D.O. had to pull me. D.O. was like, man, look how much respect they got for you. They giving you their best shot. You know what I mean? And you like, you 13 boxing with them. Like, this is like, you 13 boxing with them. So that was the gift part. But the curse part was like, you know what I mean? Like that made, like, Esco having his mind that they was trying to replace him with me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because everybody else, if your whole crew is on the album and you the only one that's waiting, you like, I see where this going, but it was never that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what made it so dope, was learning lessons then that help you now, because like D.O. be like, we had the producers, we had the studio, we ain't depend on track masters for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So when it was time to walk, it was easy because track masters don't know what records that they don't know what records they pay for.
Yeah.
No, because we got our own setup, and that's what I learned from D. I learned from D is that you get your own setup and have your own, and then that way nobody knows the records are yours. Nobody knows what records they paid for. They can be like, "Oh, we paid for this." Yeah, no, but you don't even know the title of the record, so you don't know that you paid for that record.
Yeah, I heard somewhere though that there was supposed to be a track with you, Nas, and Rakim, but it never materialized.
Rakim, it was gonna be the Generation Gap song. That was gonna be the title track, the Generation Gap song. It was me, him, and Rakim.
And what happened with that?
I mean, well, Rod signed on for it, but Esco, he just kept raising the price. And I was, even at that age, I'm smart enough, so I'm like, I'm not gonna let no money get in the way of history.
History.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what I'm gonna do. Like, so they saying, look, he want 75,000. I'm like, give him 100. Yeah, because my budget was unlimited. Donnie Iena and Tommy Mottola's like, whatever he wants. Yeah. Like, my budget was unlimited, so I'm just like, oh yeah, if he want 150, whatever he want, go ahead, because I know, like money don't make me. Money don't make me man make the money. I never cared about money. You know what I'm saying? Like, only money just buys time. That's it. So I don't ever worry about money. I was just focused on memory, the memory of it, with the memory, how long that would have lasted for people that love hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like,
who was to produce that song? Is that a Preem track?
Nah, that was gonna be Chop or LES. Those the only two that was gonna handle that track. And the joint was, matter of fact, it was they chopped up the For the Love in You joint.
Elder Barge.
Yeah, and that joint was like,
yeah, super dope.
And it was, so you could just imagine me, me, Esco and Rao over that, just like, and that was like everybody in prime, everybody in their prime. You know what I'm saying? Like with me, I was the young raw person. So it was like, we was just gonna show the three elevations of it, where I'm the raw one, and then like Esco was been in his prime. Mm-hmm. And then Ra would have been like, you know what I mean, the OG, like, this is how we level it off. And it would have just been like, bang.
I'm fucking my head up right now because my magic is going crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, and Ra signed on, you know what I mean? And it was hard for Ra to sign on because at the time, I remember, like, him and Esco wasn't really seeing like the eye-to-eye thing with them, you know what I mean? And I still was like, nah, we gonna make that happen. So when Rod signed on, I was like, oh, it's gonna happen. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then it didn't. So I was just like, all right, it's cool with me. Like, we just keep it moving.
Yeah, that could have been crazy. So you were signed to a couple of labels. Generation Gap never actually came out through Columbia though, right?
Nah, it never came out. The Generation Gap one never came out. It never came out through Columbia. The songs just was leaked. That's why they always got the watermarks in them.
Oh, so how do you feel? Do you feel like the label dropped the ball on the project? What do you feel could have been done differently?
I mean, I just feel like the smartest one in the room didn't have the stature, the reach yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I was the smartest one in the room, because I didn't really, like, I didn't worry about money or nothing. I just wanted to give the people, I'm a people person. I always want the people to be all right. So, like, I knew that this project would be great for the people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm the smartest one in the room, because I'm like, whatever it takes. But everybody else is more using stuff as leverage. You know what I mean? So it's like, like, nah, Big won't come here unless we get this. You know what I mean? Like everybody else was using everything for leverage, and I'm just like, nah, let's give the people what they want. You know, so I think it was. I don't think it was just the label. I think it would have happened, but once Trackmasters got dropped from Columbia, that was it. They was like, I was like, nah, I'm good. You know what I mean? I'm not coming head on. I'm a walk.
Yeah.
Right. I like that joint you did with Sermon Move. That shit is hot. That shit is really.
Oh yeah, nah, that's my guy. I mean, like I always, like that's me. When he'll tell you, even each Sermon will tell you, when I walk into a room, studio, whatever, my main focus is to elevate everybody around me.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's always my main focus, like, is to elevate everybody around me. So that's how I was like, that's how Move came about. He was just like, oh, I need to be on that. I'm like, all right, let's go.
Who haven't you worked with that you would love to work with?
Man, I mean, I've worked with so many. It's, I guess, like Maxwell, I guess, like a Maxwell, you know what I mean? Do like a nice, do the Maxwell, do like a nice little
mellow out shit.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Nice little smooth joint. Let them throw a few of those. Let them throw a few of those on there, you know?
No doubt.
So now it's commonplace. You hear a lot of rappers talking about ownership, you know, ownership of their music. They want to own their label, different things like that. But even back then, you know, when you transitioned from Columbia, you know, it seemed like you kind of took a step in that direction of embracing ownership and being your own boss. What inspired that?
I mean, from just day one, because when I came into music, I was already hustling. Like I was that kid, like where it didn't matter what it was. Like I was the one at Costco's buying the boxes of candy and selling them for 75 cents or $1. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. In school, like, so I've always understood the point of, you know what I'm saying, having my own. So when I came into music, it was like, and that's one thing that always that's what always took me longer, was because I wouldn't like bow down to what the industry wanted. Like where it was like, nah, I'm not. Like everybody else was coming in like, yeah, nah, I'll sell you my publishing. Oh yeah, nah, yeah, because they just thinking about the quick dollar. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh yeah, nah, here goes the 100,000, 150,000 for your publishing for the next 10 years. I'm like, nah, I'm cool on that. You know what I mean? Like that's how people would do, but I would never do that. So I just always wanted to be able, because I never want nobody waiting on me. You know what I'm saying? So I would just I'm the guy that's like, no, I want everything to be on my shoulders, so that way, because I know what I can do. You know what I'm saying? I know what I can do. I know what I can accomplish. So I've always been prominent to where it's like, no, I want ownership. This is mine. Like, you can't just tell me you're going to just put this here and put this. Nah, I always love creative. I love my creative control. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Crooks and Castles, they taught me that when it came to like clothing. They taught me that they was just like, always stay boutique. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll make the same money that they giving you up front. You'll make that long term because the quality. You'll make that long term because the quality will stay. The quality will stay the same. You know what I mean? They can't dilute the quality of what you do once they take over your creative control.
Nice.
That's right. Rebologists. There's a quote you have: most hatred towards you come from those you won't allow to love you. That was a dope quote. What sparked that quote?
I mean, just because people because I live in a society where it's like people get mad because they get mad at you because they can't get close to you, because you ain't giving them a cent of what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like they can't get a Yeah, they can't get a cent on what you're doing. You know what I mean? They looking at it like they just got to guess. You know what I mean? And people hate guessing, so it's like, but you could pick up on it and know. And when they like, oh, I can't get close to them, then I'm a hate. So like when you don't allow them to love you, they like, you know what? I'm gonna hate on them. You know what I'm saying? But that's like, I always tell people, why would I leave? Like people like, yo, son, come hang out. You like, why I'm gonna leave from around real love to go hang around fake love? It don't make sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it don't make sense. Like, and that's the thing where, like, you work so hard, like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's just us as men too. Like, we work so hard to get it. You know what I mean? We work so hard to get somebody that you know, like, oh, I ain't even worried about her cheating on me because I know the caliber of person that she is. You know what I'm saying? So why leave that to run around chasing, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Somebody that you got to second guess. So like that's what, like, when I was like, that's what made me put that quote of saying, like, the people that hate you, like, is the same people you won't allow to love you. Like it don't just pertain to men. It pertain to women that you won't allow to love you neither. That people, you won't allow them to get next to you as well. You know, where it's like, so now they just like, oh, he's such and such. Yeah, you know what I mean? He a prick. He rude. He, you know what I mean? And it's like, that's not even his fault. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, one of the people I thought was before their time as an MC was Half a Mil. Rest in peace to Half a Mil. Talk about your relationship with Half a Mil.
Oh man, like that was, he, like, I'm just so glad. I'm just so not even glad. I'm just so blessed to have met him. You know what I'm saying? First, because he showed me that you can be solid in the game. You know what I'm saying? You can be solid in the game and you don't have to be the way the game is with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, where the game teach you, the way the game is taught is, if the industry is like, if I got it at 26, you getting it at 30. So that way I can always say I got it before you. You know what I'm saying? But he taught me, like, nah, before I even get it, here, eat off the plate. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm the way I am now, where any artist will tell you, like even when Saigon first got out of jail, you know what I mean? He linked up with some people that I know. My man Glenn Toby hit me and was like, yo, I got this artist. He just came out of the pen. You know what I'm saying? Like, trying to get him in the joint, in the game, whatever. Would you do a song with him? I'm like, yeah. He like, oh, I bet. So, you know, I'm gonna go talk to him, let him know when you want to do it. I'm like, if he with you now, you know where I'm at. Let's get it done. Nice. He was like, for real? I'm like, yeah, you know, I don't play like that. Like, cause Half a Mil taught me that. He showed me that. Like, where that's how we did Italian guitars. It was like, yo, babe, what's good? You gotta do a record. I'm like, yeah, let's do it whenever you ready. He like, oh, we in the studio right now, so you might as well get it done right now.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, load up the beat and let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yo, talk about dweebing. Put us on, brother. Put me on. Yeah. I want to know, son.
Well, dweebing is just, you know, I'm a positive person, so like I wanted to take like
right over your shoulder, too. Right over your shoulder. I see the dweeb.
Yeah, you see him. You know what I mean? He stayed right with me. You know what I mean? Like, so what I wanted to do was like just take something that's so with a negative light and just put a positive spin on it. So what I did was, the dweeb, it stands for, the acronym is doing what everyone everywhere believes in. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you want people to believe in what you're doing, just keep doing what you can do best, and that's you. You know what I mean? Like, you are you 365 a day. If you that, can't nobody take that from you.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So like, can't nobody take that from you if you. So that's what dweebing stands for, is doing what everyone everywhere believes in. You know what I mean? And that's just you doing you. Right? Don't got to do nothing extra to try to be, you know what I mean, to try to impress everybody. Nah, always focus on impressing yourself. You know what I mean?
That's a great way to improve knowledge of self. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Keep you grounded about following you. We talked about this in many conversations The conversation you're having with yourself all day is you. 95% of the time.
And that's how you gotta be, because that's why like I'll grow my hair out, like just to show people like I follow me. You know, like
Right.
I do what I do what I want. Like I said on the record, on the Specialist, Ali Vegas do what he wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what I try to tell people with dweebing is like, don't fall to the pressure of what, you know what I mean? Because people will tell you something and they won't even do it themselves. Like, they be like, nah, you should do this and you should do that, and they won't even do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you as a guinea pig.
Yeah, you let your mother talk to you like that? Hell yeah, I let my mother talk to me.
Oh man,
the throwback toy, and the throwback toy shit was dope. Nigga had a kabanga.
Yeah.
But we used to call them kabangas, yo. I don't know what they want to call them.
Click clacks.
Yeah, the click clack.
Yeah, the click clack joints. Yeah, like, oh no, like I got it's crazy because I got like every, like, especially like because my brother, he used to own a McDonald's, so like we got all the McDonald's toys, like the Mac the Moon joint and all that. Like we got all of those, like Transformers and everything, where it's like
that was dope. That was a dope show.
Yeah, I got like a whole stable for like bins full of 88, 86, 88, 89 toys. Like,
yeah. Has the politics of the music business soured you on making music?
Oh nah, see, because I don't make it for them. I don't make it for the politics. You know what I mean? That's why I drop music whenever I want to drop music. You know what I mean? Like I love music. I started out writing poetry. That's how I fell in love with music. You know what I mean? Like so like that type of thing where I don't really worry about the politics, so it don't sour me. You know what I mean? I wasn't in the music part of it. I wasn't in the music business for the business part of it. You know what I mean? I fell in love with it for the music part of it. You know what I mean? If it wasn't a business, I still would love writing music. You know what I mean? I always just wanted to be one of the illest, you know, like that's it. So now that, I mean, the politics is even better now because you don't need them. You don't need the politics. You know what I mean? You don't need the radio. The radio is just if you want to feel famous. You know what I mean? But you could always, you don't need the radio now to make money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't need it to earn from it. So like, it's at its best now for artists like me that could really just pin up what he want to pin up and say what he got, what's on his heart and feel. Like, it's even, you know what I mean? Like, that's the best part.
Yeah, and give it direct to the consumer. I've heard, and I don't know how true it is, I've heard other artists say before that labels would do things like they'll sign artists that they feel are in direct competition with their bigger artists or bigger artists with the sole purpose of shelving them so they're not in competition with them. And I heard you mention on other platforms before that you feel like there was some tinkering behind the scenes or that people may have blackballed you to a degree. Do you think that that labels actually do that, sign artists that they believe are in direct competition with them?
Of course. I mean, that's it. But the thing about it is when you understand business, you understand that that's in every business. You know what I mean? Like it's a reason why the Bulls signed Dennis Rodman. You know what I mean? Like, it's a reason why the Lakers signed Ron Artest. Like, though you sign who you know what I mean? Because Kobe and Michael Jordan ain't want to deal with them guys. You know what I mean? Are going against them no more. So they like, okay, you know what? We're gonna sign them and win with them. You know, so it's on you to detect that from the gate and still move how you move. You know what I mean? Like, you can't. I always say you can't let no defender stop your shot. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what, it might take you longer to get your shot off. But don't ever let them stop your shot. You know what I mean? Like, you just focus on when the time is right to shoot your shot, you shoot your shot. So it's like when those people would hate on me and blackball, that's when I always just say, you know what? I'm going to just eat healthier, work out, keep my mental sharp, and outlast them. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. Like, I just outlast them. And that's all that's always been my concentration and my focus is saying, you know what? You should have let me shoot my shot when you had the chance to play with me. Now you can't stop my shot, and now your kids is at the mercy of me.
Mm.
And that's what they don't understand. Like, I'm younger than them. I got them. They all of them got me by 20 years. So it's like I'm younger than them. So it's like now they kids is in my hands. Like now I get to make the music that, you know what I mean? Like they kids that grow up too. So it's like that's what they don't forecast stuff like that.
Yeah, and if you getting blackballed or hated on, that usually means you're doing something right.
That's right.
Oh, they scared. That means they scared. So you keep them running. You don't give them a reason to not be scared no more. Like, nah, you keep them running.
Ali Vega's a chef too, bro. What you cooking up over there? I heard you good in the kitchen, bro.
Oh man, I get busy. I get busy. I mean, I just, you know what I mean, I made some, I made some chicken and stuff like that today. You know what I mean? You know, it's barbecue. You know what I mean? Barbecue day today. So it's like, but yeah, now I chef it up. You know, like my right hand man. You know what I mean? My right hand man cooking with Corey. Like, be a chef, certified chef. You know, like that was always a plan of ours, is to, open up restaurants and stuff like that. Like just entrepreneur things. So
Right.
yeah. So when we would be on the road, I'd be on tour. Like, I got a chef with me, you know what I mean? Like, we chefing stuff up. Like, we got that's why we always like this. We always used to like this. I always, in my I always make sure if I gotta stay in a hotel, if you can't find a house for me, then make sure it's a Marriott, because I know they got a fridge. You know what I mean? And Marriott always got a fridge, and then we bring that hot plate with us, and then we grew up where we could cook anything on the Foreman grill. We cooking anything. Mac and cheese, everything is on the Foreman grill rocking. You know what I mean? Like, that's how we, you know what I mean? Like, that's how we would do it, So that's what always stuck with me. Like, I grew up with a single parent, single mother, and she is like, ain't no guarantee that you and me going to have a woman there to cook for you, boy, so you better learn something.
Yeah.
Right. That's right.
Yeah. You see a lot of established artists are jumping full steam now into battle rap. Would you ever consider going into battle rap and doing something with URL?
I mean, to have fun, yeah. I mean, I love it. You know what I mean? Like, to have fun, just to have fun with it. But that's what I'm saying. Like, this is all it's fun to me. Like, a lot of people take this too serious, and that's the ones that you see them pulling their hair out because they take it too serious. You know what I mean? Music is a sport. It's like, it's a teaching vessel. It's to help that person going through dark times, or help that person go through dark times, get through them dark times, or help that person that's going through good times, just keep motivating them to keep doing what they doing. Like, that's music. So even like, battle rap and all, like, if it's to help, yeah, anything to help. If it's to help somebody or whatever, then like, we get it done.
Nice,
man. So you clean up too, bro. You throw the bow tie. You do speaking engagements as well.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, I clean up. I keep, like I always tell people, like, I've learned, you know what I mean? You don't dress for, you don't dress for the job you got. You know what I mean? You dress for the people that's going to be paying attention to you later on, and that's what I do. Like, I do that so that way that youngin that's, you know how we grow up. Man, oh man, you got on a collar shirt. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you got a bow tie on. What are you Muslim? Like, if I say, like, you got to show them that it's all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, it's all right. Like, my uncles be like, what? They look at you crazy if you don't own a suit. You know what I'm saying?
My mom challenged me one day when I was drunk. She said, "Why don't you go outside in an Argyle sweater and some penny loafers? Fuck my friends up, yo."
I'm telling you.
Yo, and it was like, "What you doing, nigga?" I'm like, "Son, bud, I'll take these flip flops. I'll fuck you up with my paylovers. But
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But after that, a bunch of my friends started wearing button-up shirts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Give us your top five MCs of all time and why.
Man. Well, Rise number one. Like Rakim is always gonna be number one.
Mm-hmm.
Because just his he showed me how to really blend, you know what I mean? And he probably learned it from, like being with Eric B. But he showed me how to where you can make music, like the beat ain't gotta be like the beat ain't gotta be like the grimiest beat for you to be ill on it. You know what I'm saying? Make them clap to this, and he's showing you like he killing it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so he was number one. Biggie is always gonna be, you know what I'm saying? Like I got Biggie's gonna be number two. And then from there you just, it's Big, Pop, Nas, and Jay. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Like those are my five,
Yeah.
Because Pop Passion, you can't beat Pop Passion. You know what I'm saying? And Biggie just the way Biggie delivery,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Like to master stuff like that was just dope. Like what he did for the whole East Coast, period.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? At that time was just ill. Esco, like that's like I ain't gonna put Mike there. You ain't gonna talk about Kobe. You know what I'm saying? And Jay just the way Jay just, you know what I mean, stepped into a character and played it with perfection, with lyrics to match every detail that he was trying to, you know what I mean, accomplish. Is just phenomenal. So those are my five.
Yeah. You have the distinction of being compared to both Nas and JayZ. What was that like? Was that good or bad?
I mean, if like when that's like the worst thing that they could say about you, it's like, you're like, all right, cool. But the thing about it is like, when it's like Magic and Bird looking at Mike coming. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, oh, okay, now we on notice. Okay, we gonna, you know what I mean? Like, but instead of them giving me the Magic Johnson treatment, you know what I mean? They treated me like how Isaiah wanted to treat Mike. You know what I mean? That's the whole point. Like, instead of them, you know what? Let's give him a chance to compete, and if he take the torch, he take the torch. You know what I mean? Like they was just like, nah, I don't even want him on the All-Star game. Like, we gonna freeze him out.
No dream team for you, brother.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know what? All right, cool. You know what I mean? That's it. I just stay focused and say, you know what? I'm a playing right, and I'm a outlast them. So I just, I waited for. That's why I ain't dropped now. I waited for, I knew the King Disease was coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew they both was dropping, so I just waited for both of them to drop. And now I'm gonna start. And you know what I mean? That's it.
What's your opinion on King's Disease? What do you think of the album?
I mean, when I hear it, and everybody, like if you're around me, like I do my homework with people, like with stuff, and I don't just like sometimes I won't even listen to an album till like 8 months after it come out, just so I'm not listening to nobody's favorite song or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But when I hear it, I just hear a person that's not listening to himself. I think he's listening to the room and he's not listening to himself. Like, and I knew that off of Ultra Black, and he put that, and he was like, "It's supposed to slap this hard." I'm like, "You're not listening to yourself, because that's not a Nas word."
Mm-hmm.
Supposed to slap.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. That's not a Nas word. Like, and I understand people like, nah, you want them to do. Nah, I don't. It's not about being like people might like Nostradamus wasn't better than it was written, but it was him though.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was him. You know what I mean? Like even when he did even when he did like like Shorty, what's your price, and
Mm-hmm.
the Uchi Wallies, you still at the end of the day, yeah, the music feel was different, but you still heard him. It was his wording. Like that's how I listen. Like that's how I listen to artists. Like when I listen to when I listen to like Hove and them, I listen to that. Like I know, like hold up, that's not him.
Right.
Yeah.
Your screen went out, Star.
Yeah, it's interesting that you would say that, because one of the biggest criticisms that people have, the biggest critique of Nas, is that Nas make music for himself and that he don't have a good ear for beats.
But see, that's but that's the whole point. Is yeah, that's it's because when he make music for himself, what I hear is when I hear him make music for himself, then that's a person that's he making the music as a fan of the music, of saying like, you know what, I'm not putting that out. Like that don't sound ill to me.
Right.
Like, and that's what you want. You want your artist to be like, you want your favorite rapper to be like, you know what, that don't sound ill to me. Like, forget what it's going to sell. No, that don't sound ill to me. You know what I mean? And that's why I don't mind him here. Make music for you. Like, it was written was him making music for himself.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, you loved it. You know what I mean? Still mad at music for itself. I am music for us. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I'm trying to tell people when it's like, you know, the words, like those ain't your words. Like, nah, it ain't about you, because you can show growth and still stay yourself. You know what I mean? Like, it's all right. Like, you could throw a button-up shirt on. You could go from wearing hoodies to a button-up shirt and still be you. You know what I mean? Like, that's what people know. When people know it's not you, like if I show up somewhere, and I got 2 gold chains on, and they gonna pull me to the side and be like, yo son, that ain't you. Like that ain't who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that ain't who you are. So you know what I mean? Who we betraying? You know what I'm saying? Like who we portraying, and that's not you. And
Yeah.
that's why, like that's how I look at those type of projects. You know what I mean? Like, and that's how I look at it. I mean, like dope is dope. He ain't gotta do much to be dope.
Mm-hmm.
Is all he gotta do is just stay within himself, and it's gonna come out dope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Agreed.
Now, Lamar Odom is your cousin, right? Didn't at one point you guys create a record label also?
Yeah, we had Rich Sawyer. That was, you know what I mean? That was the label. I always told him like, that was one of his dreams, is to be in music. You know what I mean? And that was the thing that was one of the things that I did. Like I said, like it was crazy because I had everything, offers and stuff on the table, but it was just like, nah, like I said, I always help out my people. You know what I mean? Before I do something like just dead it to help, just something that'll help me more than it will help them, then I'll always help my people. So yeah, Rich Sawyer, I told him, hey, yo, here we gonna start the label with Rich Sawyer. Started it. I was showing him how to do it, but he just couldn't see it. He couldn't see what I see to tell. Like I'm trying to show him, like I'm writing for Kobe Bryant. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
I put them two on the phone with each other. Like I introduced them. So like I'm writing for Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
So I know how labels treat athletes. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
like they don't really care about you. They just want a signed jersey and free tickets to the game to help them look important. Like that's just how that's how they would do with Kobe. Like, yo, well, let me get that jersey signed. Yo, what's up? Who y'all playing tonight? Nah, we got to be there to show. You know, I know how it is. So I was just telling him, like, don't fall into that. You know what I mean? And when somebody tell you to go one way, that mean they see you coming. Like.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and that's how, you know, like that's why when he was on Drink Champs, he was talking about like how the hate was so real. You know what I mean? And he kept it PC because he still got like, he played for J Team. You know what I mean? So he kept it PC, but you know what I mean. When it came to like the J thing and all that, but like we know like the conversations that was had. You know what I mean, where it was like that hate and fear was so real. You know what I mean, because. But I mean, Stout always told me that when I first signed the Trackmaster, Stout was like, "Oh, they not gonna like you." He said, "They not gonna like you. You younger." He like, "You younger, and you just as ill as them, and you from where they from." So he said, "They not gonna like you. They not gonna endorse you. Like that's why they always endorse people from out of town. They never endorse somebody from there because anybody from out of town, at the end of the day, they not New Yorkers, so they don't got divine rights to this throne, this thing of ours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like that's why they won't ever use it.
That good old New York bullshit.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So he like, yo, they not going to invite. He like, that already told me, but that's why I was like, you know what? It's cool. It'll be mine when it's time.
Right.
That ghostwriting though, the ghostwriting piece though, do you have the opportunity when you ghostwrite for somebody, do you actually get the publishing or you just get the bag for writing for them?
Nah, I do. That's me. I do publishing. That's the most important. Like I don't, you know what I mean? I do. If I'm on the song, like sometimes they'll keep me on the song. Like if the reference, they're like the reference sound so good, they'll just keep me on the reference, and I'll be like, nah, I don't want nobody knowing that. I mean, like that's the whole point is to not connect us. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, but they'll leave me on the song, and I'll be like, so then I would eat like 3 different ways: upfront, publishing, and side artists. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's how it is.
So tell us about the Oddcast and tell us what's next for Ali Vegas.
Oh yeah, the Oddcast. That's the podcast I got with my man Still the Great on Bars and Hoop Radio. That's every Friday from 8 to 10. Where we just it's crazy because the way it started out was to do the Oddcast was he a new father, so I was just telling him like, yo, so I'm showing him how to go through things. You know what I mean? Like what's on the rise for him. And I was like, yo, you should start a show. I'm telling him like, yo, because he got his own station, got his radio station, Bars and Hoop Radio. So I was telling him like, yo, look, you should do a show teaching new fathers, you know what I mean, about what they gonna go, you know what I mean, what they gonna go through, you know. So that's why when we was like, yeah, but I'm gonna need you to come, you know what I mean. And I'm like a behind the scenes person. Like nothing about me says rapper. You know what I mean? Like I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't even like crowds. So nothing about me says, and I'm punctual and all that. So when I come, like nothing about me says rapper. So he was like, I like being behind the scenes. So he was like, nah, I'm gonna need you to come, you know what I mean, hold me down on this. So I was like, nah, all right, got you. So that's why I was like, and I would have the bow tie and everything on, and he'd have a jersey and a fitted on. So that's what made the Oddcast, you know what I mean? Like, so we was like, yo, we do the Oddcast, and then like we do fatherisms, you know. So fatherisms is that's when we get and teach the youngins, and it's ill. It's just a show about real dialogue, you know what I'm saying? And so that's like I said, that's Friday, every Friday 8 to 10 on the Bars and Hoop Radio. But yeah, so I got coming now on the 14th. My man Block, he used to run with like True Life and everybody, and he never really got the shot, you know what I'm saying? So, and he a good dude. So I told him, I was like, yo, look, let's do it. Because what I do with people, that's what I like. I was like, let's do an EP. I was like, let's do an EP, put it out so that way they come listen to me, they gonna hear you too, you know what I mean? Like, because you're a good dude, you deserved it, you know what I mean? So that's the Depth to Society joint that's coming out on the 14th, the Depth to Society project, the EP. And then me and Nature got the EP. Me and Nature we got an EP coming out too, you know what I mean? Like 7 joints, me and Nate, because, they ain't, he wasn't on that Firm song, you know what I mean? I told him, don't worry about it. I was like, yo, like, don't worry about it, because we was actually starting a crew called it was the crew I had called the Black Syndicate, you know what I mean? Where it was going to be, Nate, Tragedy, Gaddafi, Roy Flush, like, it was just going to be a real Queens joint, you know what I mean? Like, because I had a crew called the Black Syndicate, And Traj was like, yo, son, let's form let us, you know what I mean, come link up. I'm like,
Crazy, yeah, that'd be crazy.
I'm like, y'all my big brother, so like that's, you know what I mean, like let's go, whatever. So me and Nate, we gonna do that. Me and Traj got a joint called The Government Got Him. That song will be out, and then me and Sha Money Excel, we actually be working on the Book of Ali 2 right now called The For Granted Child. I mean, he produced the whole Book of Ali 1, Sha Money Excel, and now he producing the whole Book of Ali 2, The For Granted Child. Like when me and his, my rhymes and his beats is like,
Magic.
I mean, yeah, like that's exactly what he wrote because he sent me the joint, and I sent it back the same day. He was like, son, you like that magic, you know what I mean? So we got that joint coming out. So the 14th is that's why I waited. I waited for the King Disease and Hov, and I waited for them to drop. You know what I mean? Let them drop. I gave them their room. Now comes the onslaught. You know what I mean? Like now it's like, okay, cool, here we go now. So 9/14 starts it. The Depths of Society. Then you got the Ali Vegas and Nature EP coming. Then you got the Book of Ali 2. All that's coming this year. And then the For Granted Child. And then I got the Last of the Flo Egan. That's gonna come at the top of the year with my man King Solomon, who's an ill producer.
Yeah.
So yeah, time to run the table, like they say in spades. Time to run the table.
You working, bro? You working?
Yeah, we ain't gonna. Yeah, like listen, man. You know what I mean? I'll let them. I'll lay dormant and let them do what they do, so that way, you know what I mean. Now I know, like, now they say don't go to war unless you got your money right. You know what I mean? Now I know. Now I know it's nothing they can do to stop me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you working. Well, plug your social media.
Oh, I mean on Instagram, The Real Ali Vegas. The Real Ali Vegas on all the joints. TheRealAliVegas.com. If you can't find me on social media, just go to my .com. My website is TheRealAliVegas.com. CelebrityDweeb.com. You know what I mean? That's it. We plugging. We not even playing around. Everything is time to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nah, man. Yo, we appreciate you taking time out of your day to sit down and chop it up with us, man. Good looking, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Man, this was dope, man. You know what I mean? I see the. I guess that's your two favorites. I see that Criminal Mind behind you and that Reasonable Doubt, man.
Oh yeah, That's classic LPs, man. Yo, if you can see some of the other joints I got on my wall, I got the Paid in Full.
Okay,
got,
yeah, no.
Illmatic. Got how you call it? Public Enemy. Takes a nation a million to hold us back. Capital Punishment, because they're originally from the Bronx, so we got Capital Punishment.
Oh, you got to. Pun was, man, listen. Pun was, and he was one of the man, like, because I was always around Uncle Hev, and when they was doing the group, you know what I mean? Pun was like, he was so adamant on me being in TS. He was like, yo, babe, man, like, he like, yeah, because he when they was doing, that's what I'm saying, like Heavy D, that's like my uncle, you know what I mean? Like he'd come pick me up in the Bulletproof 6, like, yo, come on, we out. So when they was doing when they had the group, him and 8 Ball and Pun, we'd be on the video sets and we'd be rhyming, and Pun be like, yo, son, like, listen, man. Be like, listen. I would always be like, I don't know if Joe liked that, because, you know what I mean? I don't know if Joe would like that, because Esco is his man. That's his, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's his man. So I was like, I don't know if that window, he like, we gonna figure it out. He would always say, we gonna figure it out. Every time he would see me, he'd be like, yo, babe, we gonna figure it out. I was like, I'm here. You know what I mean? So, like, Pun, that Capital Punishment album is one of, like, that what's the name song is one of the illest, man. You're not a killer, still learning. That's one of the, man, when that joint and you just hear boom, boom, you like, damn.
I still remember the first time I heard that joint.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, that was probably like one of the first songs that, like, rap songs that brought, like, gave you that teary feeling, just because it was so beautiful, like a joyful tale. It was just so beautiful. Like that song, it was just so beautiful. Like it's rare that. That's why I always tell people. I tell a person like, yo, here, make a playlist of your artists that you listen to. Just take your favorite song from them, not favorite song from one of their albums. Just your favorite song from them. Take every one of those, and then you'll just to keep that feeling of, wow, okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That way you understand like what music is supposed to be when you make it.
Yeah.
Right. A wow factor. Well, thank you, brother, man.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me, man.
Appreciate it. Salute.